Alright, this is going to be another Diecast review, which was voted for by my viewers and or followers. So big thank you to those who took the time to vote. And the next Diecast replica that you guys wanted to see was this 1976 Ford Gran Torino by Greenlight. So let's go ahead and take a look. Well, getting onto the box, it's pretty much the same standard as you have with all Greenlight replicas. But you can see here that this car is from Starsky and Hutch, which this might come as a shock to some. I've actually not seen a single episode of this series, but I am familiar with it, so I've at least got that much going for me, I guess. But I actually had this sitting under the workbench for at least a good part of a year. I had two of them. One I actually sent over to friend and fellow YouTuber Trainman3985 around Christmas last year. But this one I kept for myself. But getting back to the packaging here, again, basically the standard. You can see we got limited edition die-cast metal, contents, one die-cast vehicle. But we can see how the car is presented in the packaging. You can see there is dust on this because, like I said, it's been sitting around for a while. Going on the back of the box, there's a nice photo of the car. And other than that, there's really nothing else to see on this. I'm noticing a date of 2024. I'm kind of thinking I picked this up early 2025, but I could be wrong. But anyways, I think it's time to go ahead and get this out of the box and take a closer look at it. Alright, got the car out of the packaging, and we can take a closer look at it now, which if you're regular viewers on the channel, you'll know that I tend to really scrutinize these Greenlight replicas just because I've had so many come through with quality control issues. But from the looks of things, the quality on this car looks pretty good. The only issue I'm noticing is this passenger side headlight is a little crooked, but personally I think I could look past that. Everything else looks great. And one of the first things that jumps out to me with this has to be the paint job, because I just love this red with the white stripe that goes along the side and over the top. I think a lot of fans of Starsky and Hutch also like that with this car. It's just such an iconic look. But on the front here, you can see the headlights and the grille are very nicely detailed. I also like the bumper here. We've even got the license plate just in this corner here. Does anyone know why this isn't mounted in the middle? I'm just curious to know. But going along the side of the car here, you can see we got the silver trim along the wheel wells and the rockers. We've also got it around the windows and such. I really like that. We've also got chrome rims and rubber tires. I think that's pretty much standard for Greenlight replicas. But on the back of the car here, we've got taillight details. Again, quite like the bumper. I like the silver trim. We've also got the license plate on the back here as well. And then going around to the passenger side, I believe this is supposed to be a dome light. I think some replicas of this car actually omitted that detail for whatever reason. Maybe if someone knows, leave a comment. And of course, we do have interior detail on this as well. But, oh, geez. Okay, I just noticed this A-frame seems to be kinked in slightly. Yeah, because that's not like that. No, that's not like that on the other side. Oh, Greenlight, I was just praising you so much. Okay, we're just going to try to look past that as well. But I think this car also has an opening hood, if I can get it open. Oh, okay. Nice to see the hood opens very freely. I hope the people from Auto World are watching this video and taking notes. But yeah, with the hood open, you can see we got nice engine detail in here. Anyone wants to comment about what particular engine this car has, feel free to do so, but I'm quite impressed with how that looks. And, you know, it's nice to see that we've got very free opening hood and, you know, no issues there. One thing I will say about this car is, like I said before, I've never seen a single episode of Starsky and Hutch. However, I have recognized this car for a number of years because my first ever exposure to this car was actually in the Dukes of Hazzard pilot, One-Armed Bandits, where this car was actually driven by Cooter. And I think in that production, though, the Gran Torino was actually a 1975 instead of the 76. But I just kind of find it interesting, the fact that this car actually appeared, you know, in that pilot. Maybe they were just at a shortage of cars for that scene or what, but yeah, it's quite curious. Unfortunately, similar to last week's review on the Auto World Dodge Challenger, I'm unable to get to the diecast pieces that I want to do the comparison up next to the 76 Gran Torino. And because of that, I've just picked out some other muscle cars and trucks from my collection to do a little bit of show and tell. Needless to say, I'll be glad when renovations are done in the workshop here and I can access everything without it being a pain in the neck. But first one I'm going to show here, and I should mention that these are all custom, by the way. They actually started out as Hot Wheels. But this first one is a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. And basically what I did with this is I stripped it down, repainted it in this, I want to say like a metallic orange, but I don't think that's what it is. But repainted it. I did all the trim work by hand. Basically painted more details on this car as well. And I gave it a set of wheels from M2 machines. I also had to do a little bit of modification to get them to sit right. But quite a sharp little piece, and I think it's the only 1970 Roadrunner I have. This next one was quite an involved project. This is actually, I'm going to call it a 1970 Plymouth Valiant. And this was made to look like the car used in the movie Duel starring Dennis Weaver. This originally started out as I think a 1969 Dodge Dart, which I cut up and modified into a 4-door. And of course I repainted it, added some details, new wheels and such. I think it looks pretty close to the Valiant in the movie. They actually used 4 different cars. I think the first one was a 69. The other 2 I think were 70. And I think the last one was a 71. But I do have a video where I showed both this and the Peterbilt 281 that I built. But next one is this 1962 Chevy pickup, which another case of I just started with the Hot Wheels, stripped it down. This is actually the original paintwork, but I repainted the interior black. And I think I removed some Hot Wheels logos on this, painted some other details on it, and of course new wheels. You can see I installed new axles on this because I wanted to lift it up a little more. But quite a sharp looking truck. I've actually modified a number of these 62 Chevys for various purposes. I think I've showed them on other videos I've done. But then the last one here is I'm going to peek, it's a 1956 Ford F1, and again, another Hot Wheels truck that I modified. This had a bunch of flame logos on the side of it. I removed those, and because I just wanted this metallic blue. But then I also took time, painted all the trim work, painted the running boards, repainted the interior. Well, actually, I think the frame and the interior were repainted black, but I actually ended up painting the interior red because I thought it looked nice. And then all this stainless here was actually custom cut and fitted to the truck as well, and I just think that looks great. And then these wheels actually came from a Hot Wheels, what would they call them? Pop culture car, I'm just going to say. But I thought they looked great because they had the blue walls on them. But really sharp looking truck, definitely one of my favorites. But yeah, that's just a little show and tell of some other muscle cars and trucks that I have, which these would all be customs basically. Well, to give my final thoughts on this 1976 Ford Gran Torino by Greenlight, honestly, I really like it. I think it looks great. I believe it's correct to how the car looked on Starsky and Hutch. If there are any differences, let me know down in the comments. But for the most part, I really do like this. I'm disappointed in the fact that the A-frame's bent like it is. Like I've said before, though, unfortunately, quality with Greenlight replicas is kind of hit and miss, so it is what it is. But I could definitely recommend this car to anyone that wants to have a piece like this in their 1/64 scale diecast collection, or if you're a fan of the series, it's worth picking this up. And hopefully you don't run into any of the issues that I have with mine. But again, I quite like it. Now, unfortunately, I can't recall what I paid for this. I know I got it at Walmart, and I believe the price for one of these is around $5, $6, maybe $7, which, you know, from what I've seen with these Greenlight replicas, the price on them isn't too bad. If you get something that's put together properly and doesn't have any issues, you know, I think the price is all right. But, you know, if you get one that looks like it's slapped together and it's got a number of quality control issues, yeah, it ain't worth it. But, you know, like I said, though, I could definitely recommend this to any fans of Starsky and Hutch or anyone that wants a piece like this in your 1/64 scale collection. But really, I think that is going to be it for this review. You guys can let me know your thoughts on this car down in the comments down below. I've got some other diecast reviews lined up in the near future, so keep a watch out for them as well. But until then, you all take care, and I will catch you on the next one.